Welcome to DrVoIP training. This brief training segment is from the DrVoIP ShoreTel 8 administration video series. The complete 15 hours of training is available online or on DVD at DrVoIP.com. Let's meet our coach, Peter Buswell. Known throughout the telecom industry as DrVoIP, Peter brings a wealth of experience to his training sessions. He has worked in telecom since 1970. He's worked exclusively in VoIP since 1998. He's a VoIP entrepreneur with 3 venture capital-backed businesses. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Information Technology Management, plus certifications from some of America's leading communications companies. Let's join one of Peter's training sessions now in progress.
The other common way to configure a switch is through a console port. So if we go into Windows here and we bring up our hyperterminal, which I recommend you install on your server. At the beginning we discussed what software should be available. You want to have hyperterminal available, and you want to, or PuTTY or one of those terminal capture. They'll be useful for configuration. They'll also be useful for capturing debug. So I'm going to go ahead, and bring up hyperterminal here. Now I have previously configured a hyperterminal connection and called it ShoreTel, but I'd like you to see how we do that. Let's call this guy ShoreTel console, because we like to keep them for the future. And at this point we're going to say that our hyperterminal connection is on COM3. What you need to know is that this needs to be set up as 19.2, 8 data bits, known parity, 1 stop bit, and the flow control is actually none. So once we do that, we connect our computer, our laptop, whatever, to the console cable, which is DB9 male to female, plugs directly into the ShoreTel console port on the switch right there where it says maintenance, and we will get a opportunity to bring up the ShoreTel configuration menu. So in this situation, it's a very easy English-like language facility for configuring the switch. I can go ahead and hit 1 and show the version of the switch. If I press 2, we can get the configuration, including the firmware level, the current IP address information, how the gateway address information is configured, what's the boot method. We're going to boot out of flash here. DHCP is enabled. In every ShoreTel installation, you really don't want to do this, DHCP enabled, because it's going to cause you some administrative problems. This switch reboots and gets a different IP address, where we're going to have some problems. So one of the things we're going to want to do is change the DHCP or bootp option. We want to enable or disable it, so we'll go ahead and hit 6 at this point and tell it that we just want that turned off. And the reason for that, again, is if the switch were to reboot, get a different IP address, and your system administration is set up to see this switch at a particular IP address, and then it goes and changes on you, you're going to have some problems. So you can see that we have the ability to change all of the parameters associated with this switch configuration. A console port is really an excellent tool to have handy. We can also telnet into the switch. That, of course, assumes it's been previously configured and has an IP address, and and it's on the network. So those are a couple of different ways of configuring each of the switches.